Hello and welcome. In this section, we will be doing prerequisites for some tools and technologies. Before you dive into the course, you need to set few things up. We will be working in three areas in this section. Number one, tools that you need to install in your computer. Number two, accounts. You need to create some accounts, sign up in some website, which I will guide you. Number three, AWS setup. We will be using AWS as our cloud computing solution, and in order to use it safely and securely, we will be taking some steps. There are few commands and steps which you may not understand in this section, and that is fine. We will be mastering them later. Now, before we get started with prerequisites, let's take a look at GitHub repository where we keep all our source code, scripts, and configuration file. Let's see that first. Starting with GitHub repository where we have kept all the code, scripts, and files which you will need in this course. So let's see that first. So open up your browser and you can say github.com/devopshydclub/vprofile-project. Hit enter. You should bookmark this link. We'll be using this throughout our course. In the GitHub repository that we have several branches, and based on which project you are, you will select that particular branch. I will let you know in the project that which branch we'll be using for a particular project. Like for example, if we are doing continuous delivery with Jenkins and Ansible together, then we'll be selecting this branch. Or if you're doing CloudFormation, you'll be going to CloudFormation branch. If you're doing Kubernetes, you'll be going to Kubernetes branch. For Kubernetes itself, we have three different branches: Kube CI/CD, Kube App, and Kubernetes Setup. So likewise, we have several other branches. Based on the project, I'll tell you which branch you should be using in a project. If you want, you can clone this for now, but I will tell you in few minutes what tool we'll be using to access this repository. So whenever I use the word as source code or repository, I mean to say this GitHub repository. Okay, now let's check the other tools and signups that we need to do. We will be working in three areas in this videos: the tools that we need to install on our laptop or on our desktop. Second, the signups that we need to do on some accounts. And third, some AWS prerequisites that we'll be doing. So let's get started with the tool. Let's see the tools that we will be installing. We need Oracle VM VirtualBox, Git Bash, Vagrant, and Chocolatey if you're using Windows system, or you can install Brew if you're using Mac OS. Also, we'll need few more tools: JDK8, Maven, IntelliJ, which will be your IDE if you prefer to use something else like Visual Studio, or if you have any other personal preference, you can go with that. We'll be also using Sublime Text Editor, also AWS CLI, and there are few tools like for example Terraform that we'll be setting up in the project itself. Few places you need to sign up like GitHub. We also need to purchase a domain. I will be using GoDaddy platform for that. If you have any personal preference in that, then you can use any other domain registrar. Account also on Docker Hub to store our Docker images, and also Sonar Cloud. On AWS, we need to do few things. We need to first get a free tier account. We'll set up an IAM user with multi-factor authentication. We'll set a billing alarm, and we'll also get a certificate from AWS, which we will be using in setting up HTTPS secure connection. So let's get started with the tools first.